Boys and girls, BJonGameDay back for another week. Thank you for joining us once again. Guys, we're coming up strong for this one. We're all a little bit crook, but we are here. We are here to entertain. Let's do it for another week. It's a huge night this week, guys. Brent, Bogan, boys, welcome.
King, mate, thank you. Pleasure. Yeah, you won't get to see my beautiful face this week, which is lucky because I got poked in the eye and it looks like I got pink eye, as I've been made aware. But good to be here, mate, as always. And I'm actually quite looking forward to this to see what you're going to present for us, King. And it's always a prestigious time of year, the Liam Knight Awards. So very much looking forward to it, mate. Bogan, how are we?
Yeah, tired, very tired, but yeah. That's
Brent,
about it.
I love how you phrase that, present, because this is a presentation. This is me doing my presentation to the champion. This is a prestigious award these days, and presenting that award is just a true honour, even though I came up with the award myself.
Can it also be noted that this award is judged by a panel of one?
Correct.
So all the opinions of this award, of the Liam Knight Award, are purely Josh King's, and not necessarily the opinions of the other people involved in the show.
If we go globally, right?
If we go
globally with awards like the Nobel Peace Prize and the Pulitzer and those big ones, okay, we stand an infinities of zeros and then a 1% chance of having any threat to those as a one-man band. But yes, go on, mate, go on.
I just want it known that this isn't a slight on any individual players at all. So, just in case.
No,
just in case someone comes out and says, "Oh, you're fucking bullying Liam Knight," and Liam Knight goes on to Rugby League Week or fucking whatever press and says they've even got a show on the internet that pokes fun on me because the bullies are bullying me.
Spikes, you're missing the point. We can get out of that. We've got a get out clause with that because there are ways off the list. There are ways out of the team, off the, Mark Nichols, he did it last season. He made his way off the list. The cunt was on the list. He was there alongside his South Sydney Rabbitohs, legend of all legends, Liam Knight.
I was going to say, I don't think Liam Knight can escape the award that he's named after.
Any player, you're not getting bullied. You get the chance to get off. You just got to, put in 140% effort rather than 80%.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just that someone can send a tweet to Latrell calling him a dickhead, and then suddenly it's in the papers for stop picking on Latrell.
Oh yeah.
So no one's being bullied. None of the players.
Yeah. We're
not disputing any player's ability. It's all about Supercoach and being essentially overrated by the Supercoach community. Is that correct, King?
Community out there, I understand your frustration with multis, and when you've got one on, and I get just frustrated as everyone, right? I'm a punter, and when I've got my multis on, and and it's such and such and whatever, and Supercoach is a little bit different to punting, stay at that side of the fence, but again, don't go bullying players when your sort of multi goes down or something like that. So, yeah.
And the invite's open for Liam Knight to come on the show and tell King.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, because some could argue that Josh King is the Liam Knight of Supercoaches.
I'll tell you what. I'll text. This is what I'll do. I will text Corey Parker and see if he's got Liam Knight's phone number.
Here we go. Fucking dropping names.
Nah.
Dropping names.
I fucking shouldn't, should I? Nah, I won't do that. I won't do that. Anyway. Carry on. We're waffling. But remember? You don't want to waffle too much.
Well, here's the thing. Show for the news.
Yep.
I will be putting up edited versions of the show up from now on.
Without the waffle.
I'll try and cut out the waffle if I have time, but a lot of the times it might just be a straight upload. It's more a YouTube algorithm thing. As always, we're fucking slaves to the algorithm.
But hey, you said we came up second with this search, yeah?
That did when I went on to when I signed out of my account. Yeah.
Can you share screen with me, mate? I can't see.
Sorry.
Just got. thing. So guys, basically, I mean, this week we're going to do the Pimp My Teams first up, so we're going to run through with those, and then we'll run through the Liam Knight Award. We'll try and engage in the chat as much as we can because it's always a little bit of a funny night. I'm going to bag people. People are going to bag me. It's going to go off. So let's just all enjoy it. Bogan, we got the first teams to Pimp, or are we... I thought it'd be a nice thing for you to put up, the names of the blokes. That, give them a bit of extra recognition. But fucking hell, no time to do graphics,
mate. Still worried about splashback drops or something, King. That's it. Can we make a start on the analysis while you're doing that?
Oh, sorry, boys. Sorry. All right. He might have. I don't know who this one is, so he might have changed it by now. But a couple of the lads, after they messaged me, naturally, we got halfway through this fucking weekend of trials, and they text me new teams. Oh, I've changed my team. It's just like, for fuck's sakes, I can't just magically make Bogan do work. He's got other shit on, So I was like, he's done his graphics already. Bad luck. This is what's going up. And I imagine that because Tavita Pangai surely made his way out of a lot of teams, Hampton.
Well, yeah, it was a bit argy-bargy over the weekend in their trial. I think it was Monday, wasn't it? But whatever day it was. But yeah, I'm not sure what the percentage is King, but obviously after that there was plenty of chat on social media, and I definitely saw a lot of people getting off him as a result. It's not it's pretty common knowledge, Bud, that he's got the discipline can be a bit of an issue keeping that in check. And
who does that shit in a trial? Fuck.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good to see, and someone that's pretty keen on him myself, it definitely makes you have to think twice, eh?
But it does. I mean, he's just got that fuse that once it gets lit in the game, and until he gets either sin binned or sent off, it isn't stopping, and it's not for a good thing. It's for the niggle, and it's for the penalty giving situation. So yeah.
This is Blade Buckman, which is a fantastic fucking name, by the way.
Blade. All right, so that's Matty Titan's nephew.
Blade. The parents are Wesley Snipes fans? Or...
well, it's spelled with a Y in there, so I'm not too sure. But yeah. Anyway,
the other thing that will be hard to comment on is not really being able to see the entire team layout in one image. But
yeah, because as you say, mate, like a lot of the upper stuff at this time of the year responds from the lower stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
but I guess
who you put in the wings.
Looking at that, he's gone an extra heavy in the second row there with Colo and Young as well. So both not that cheap at $530K. There's a bit of money invested in there.
Quick hookers though. So he's gone Clark on the bench. So rather than a standout at number one and maybe Randall backing up on the bench, he's just gone a cheapie there. So
Guy was a cheapie to look for too, but he was injured. He was injured on the weekend. Yeah, he'll be out for about 6 weeks, at least from what I saw on NRL Physio.
Yeah.
Now, a few mid-range guys there in that forward pack in general. You obviously got Otoka, Manu, which again the number of people are getting off as well. But Kolomatangi, Hudson Young, even Lolo. There's a lot of guys in between there, King, I reckon, which I don't know. I don't think any of them have big ceilings either, the back rowers. So I don't know whether you'd be better off trying to just go to one of those more elites to try and get that ceiling.
That's why I've liked Hudson Young.
You got the ceiling, you reckon?
I think he does. I think he's got the games where, maybe in the Nakora as well. Like, I reckon they can score 2 or 3 tries. Like, we're not talking Menzies. We're not talking, Ryan Hoffmans and blokes who ran those kinds of lines. But they just find a way to get over the try line. And I think Hudson Young's done it a few times before where he's picked up a sort of 110, 120. I may be wrong. It might be sort of high 80s or 90s. But I just feel like with them, it's there in a game. Whereas most other second rowers, you just don't see it that much anymore.
I guess the one thing with Hudson is Ricky does tend to favour him. We talk about,
Hey, Dill, hey, mate.
I
just quick shout out to Dylan Cairns in the chat. My boy from work. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, Dill, DC. But yeah, I don't know. He does tend to get favoured a bit by Sticky. He gets 80 minutes on the edge, which is good. Colin Matangi as well gets 80, but again, just not seeing enough from a ceiling perspective. You think they're going to have a breakout, you go for it. King, looking at this, I mean, you got Aaron Clark there, as you said, which again, it would have been nice to see the Titans trial on the weekend. I don't know what the makeup of their bench will be and what sort of minutes he'd be looking at, but obviously if he gets some big minutes, I think he comes on the radar pretty quickly. Does a side with a forward pack like this have Cleary and Turbo? Looking at that top half. No, I'm asking him a question.
No, hang on, Bruce. Hang on.
Can he afford it?
Not both. No.
I don't think he has both.
To get Turbo and Cleary, you've got to have fucking near on 11 cheapies on the bench. Like,
I think he'd have Cleary, but not Turbo. He's probably got the Teddy Pap or something like that at the back.
Yeah, Teddy Pap, I'd say.
Let's see it, Bogues.
Definitely. Yeah.
There it is.
And no Cleary's.
And no
but
Cleary.
Jerome Hughes. Okay, interesting. Thoughts on Cleary, mate?
Yeah, look, I think there's still a bit of speculation as to whether he's fit for round one. So obviously, thinking of starting with him, you'll have to keep an eye on team lists for that. I mean, if he's there, I'm a big fan of just watching Cleary play footy, but Supercoach wise, he has been probably one of those guys we think about as a roller coaster. More traditionally, he has the big scores in him, but he also will sometimes have those very low two-digit scores in him at times. I guess you just got to be prepared to take the good with the bad. If the Chooks have got a good run, a lot of people think Teddy will be better off this year for Kiri being back in the side, but there's going to be games where Kiri, I think, scores low. He just doesn't. Just the type of player he is, he doesn't score big every week, but he'll have a game where he gets 3 or 4 or 5 try assists and makes a few line breaks and that sort of thing. So you just got to be able to wear it with him. He's not a bad price at $530K, but I'm personally looking elsewhere. Hughes is another interesting one. Again, you're sort of paying this sort of price for guys. They're priced pretty $640K. That's a pretty decent average. So you just got to, if you're picking these guys, there's something in your gut telling you they're going to go well, or they should start the year well. So, provided they have good draws, which, the Melbourne probably do.
I think the advantage of having a Hughes or a DCE price guy there in those halves is, let's say round one goes through and they perform poorly, and round two Cleary comes back and Cleary throws out a 140. I think it's easier. A lot of guys have got Cleary as their sort of number one half and just a nufty. It's a lot harder to get from 500 to 950 than 650 or 700 to 950. You could probably drop another mid-ranger somewhere else and get to Cleary, knowing that you can't miss the boat by too much.
Oh, absolutely, totally agree. It's not a bad ploy, as you say, and I don't mind those halves. Like, you got Keary, Hughes, Johnson. If you're not going to have Cleary, one of the next best might be one of these blokes. I don't know which one. Maybe it'll be a couple. We'll have to see. But spread the money a bit around in the halves, and then it hasn't gone overly cheap in the centre wings either. King, he's got Stags, he's got Coates, who's at that weird sort of price, and then cheapied out a little bit more with Targo, Suwale, Amon, and a few of the boys. But it's not bad again for a side that doesn't have Cleary and Turbo. The money's spread around nicely. It's a pretty evenly balanced sort of side, I reckon. But all right, moving on. Any other thoughts on this team, King?
No, mate, I got nothing.
I don't think we've given anything useful for young Blade at this point, but I think, But Not sure how old he is, mate. I don't know. The team's looking good. I wouldn't make any too drastic changes, mate. As always, I'd like to say go with your gut. There'd be a couple of things if you need to downgrade someone, maybe look at one of those back rollers. You've got a few of them, and obviously a few halves there where you could find a bit of extra money if you do want to go to a Cleary or something like that. But pretty solid to start the year. I don't mind it at all. Nothing critical from my end. Just a couple of other options you could look at, but I like it.
Cool. I'm just catching up.
Brendan Thurston.
Oh, JT's brother. Jonathan's brother. Who we got? Brendan Thurston.
Oh, I like it. I like some of these. I'm not seeing a few of these in many teams. I like it.
I think obviously the Tavita might have lost a bit of shine, but I like this. Yeah, this is sort of everyone's been talking about and being able to put it all in there. Like I've seen a lot of people take 3 or 4 of these, but everyone's been talking about Lukey, Tuolangi, Piakura, Aiken for like Momosia, a bit of whispers around him. Maxi King's been good. Like this is probably, again, Tavita probably just lets it down right now, mate.
Yeah, look, and again, I like Marnie at hooker, even though, we'll see what happens. Parrott obviously did a number on Penrith in the trial over the weekend, which, a lot of Parra fans have already started buying grand final tickets. Benny, I think, has gone diamond, the upper echelon class already. But you can't ignore they've got plenty of Supercoach friendly players, and Reid Marnie's a centrefold of a bit of that for them as well. He likes to sniff out the dummy half. He gives a good short ball to a few of their big boys close to the line. So I really like Reid this year. I like it. A bit different to Grant and also a little bit cheaper, so nice one. I think the only issue with Marnie is depending on how BA looks after him, knowing that he's moving on to the Dogs next season. Obviously, if the Eels are going to be any genuine chance of winning the comp, this bloke's got to play 9 majority time.
One of the comments that I heard one of the guys sort of make about Supercoach this year, and especially considering last year, like all the big scores, these days we want, I think it was the beers and fucking bitches. What's that fucking YouTube? So anyway, beers and bongs.
You're telling the story. Fuck, I'm listening.
Mate, these guys sort of said, it's essential to have guys that can hit 150s now. Like it used to be 90s was a massive score. My problem with the Eels is there too many mouths to feed. Like it almost just seems like, rightly or wrongly, whether it's better for their premiership hopes or not, they haven't proven it so far, but they seem like they've got attack all across the park. Like you can't just pick out that one player who's going to get the score. In 1 week it could be Dill Brown, could be Reid Marnie, could be IPAP,
Yeah, it is. You're spot on. It is. But there's plenty of people, looking to start with some Paraboys. I'm a big fan of AFB. Obviously, you are as well, King. I like AFB at 500k as an alternative to Haas, but, arguably a pretty solid pairing there, your bookends.
After the weekend, this is my front row pairing.
Haas and AFB.
Yeah. That's. I'm locked in with that.
Yeah.
I wasn't sold on Haas to sort of. We know what he is, mate, and it's not that I was anything against that. I just thought, I guess I thought the Utukumanus and the couple of guys who might improve, the Spencer Lenus and things like that, they're another year on. But you look how far ahead of him Haas already is, and he's another year on, like he's going to get better as well. So I think we can see a big year from Payne.
Yeah, and look, a couple of cheapies in this one again. I'm not as sold on Lukey as everyone else is. I'm not actually aware what minute share he had in that trial over the weekend, but there was people that said he looked good. I'm less sold on starting the season with Lukey, but you've got to start with someone. So I understand it. If by round 3 he's the guy that needs to come in, so be it. But I personally won't be starting with him. Tulagi, I don't know if this is a young bloke who's got some raps on him that might end up getting a start somewhere there. But
I don't think he's young. To be fair, like watching him there on the weekend,
it's not Tulagi I'm thinking of then.
No, I don't think it's who you're thinking of, because this guy played a few last year, as you can see by his averages, but he actually looked probably late 20s kind of thing. Like he might have been a park footy guy who just finally got a shot. I might be wrong, but he looked fucking 40.
I thought he was a young bloke, but anyway, we'll see what happens.
I might be wrong.
Team list will determine this one as well, King. So I don't see any issues with that forward pack. A few of the benchies, you have to check out team list with Maxi King there and Mamasia, obviously. But if they're there, there's nothing wrong with them to start the year for sure. And Mamasia could be a smoky, especially a not bottom dollar, but 200k cheapie with that duality between the front row and second row will be gold, I think.
Yep. Cool. Go to the backs. All right, Pappy Teddy. Stags, man. Yeah, man. Look, he just hogs the ball enough that he's going to score Supercoach points.
And it looks like he's going to play a fair bit of time in that lock role. By the looks of things, Barnett might be off the bench and then rotate in the front row, and Man could fill in anywhere. But yeah, like you said, the way he plays is just very Supercoach scoring friendly and conducive. So
I don't mind it. Like it's good, but I just go to the fact again is the bloke probably going to score more than 50 or 60 each week? You know, he's going to be that annoying little player that you can sort of get an average out of. I don't really see the ceiling in.
I don't think he'll hurt you too much, eh?
No. I think you can miss him and take a punt elsewhere.
I think the only thing with him is he does push an average over 50 or 55 to 60 King. He's going to make some all right cash. And obviously, that centre wing or even 5'8", will be helpful just to plug a hole for a bit as well. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. Again, team list will tell it all. Adam O'Brien will name him to start lock, and then 5 minutes before kickoff, we'll put fucking Sue back in there. So we'll see what happens there, man. Whether it ends up being a trap or not, we'll see. But he's pretty Supercoach friendly anyway.
Yep. All right. Sexton, mate. I'm convinced. Not a fan. So hang on. What do we got? So we got Sexton, Hastings. Go back to the forwards for a sec, Bo. I suppose. Oh, but again, you've just got. Oh, you're going Exy now. I think he'd have more money than this. I thought he'd get one more game.
I was thinking he might have had a bit more money, but he doesn't have Cleary or Turbo. So, but I suppose you got AFB at 500, Marnie at 600, Lukey on the bench at 350, and then Coates.
I suppose. Doesn't take much to take away a 500k player at this early season, turn into a 250. Yeah, all right.
I don't think Billy Walters is a go at 300k. There's too many issues around the security, obviously, but I think that one's a quick change on team lists if he's not there, and then depending on the team list throughout the season after that. But yeah, have no Turbo or Cleary at your own peril, but I like Fafita in there as well.
All right, next one, folks. Joshy Park. All right, yeah, Joshy messaged me as well. Hang on, let me look up these messages, you fucking bastards. Switch BJonGameDay. Joshy Park, what'd he say? Hey lads, I've updated my team. You're still able to feature in Pimp? Yes. Fucking what have you changed it to? It's fucking got worse, mate. Jesus, it's got worse.
This team?
We've got Corey Pay in there instead of Hetherington, because the talk is that Corey Pay is going to get the starting spot. So he's gone to that. He's dumped. Fuck, I don't know what you've done here. He's dumped. Took a Manu and he's put in AFB.
Yep.
He's still got all the rest in one way or another. Yeah, so look, I'm just Corey Pay. Fuck, I don't know. I think hooker is just that far gone between like the likes of Grant and Cookie, Arnie, that you've got to have one of those guys. Like I think there's no hooker about today that's going to make 300 or 400k and get to join their likes. They're just going to average 40s to 45s, and it's going to be absolutely unexciting. You've got to go one of the top guys at hooker. The only reason you go a guy like Randall is because he can make 60 tackles a game, and instead of averaging 45, he averages 60. So
I don't mind Hetherington. There's a bit of mail. He could start in the middle as well. So at 300k at hooker, he's not bad. But Pakes, I don't know. Like, where's Turpin going to go? Turpin's still in the picture as far as I'm aware, and they like him as a footballer. Whether Walters got a change of heart. I think Pakes looks the better hooker, but I just don't see him out in Turpin anytime soon for Pakes to be relevant. But happy to be proven wrong on that one. But just looking at this side, plenty of money in that forward pack as well, King. So
Dylan asked, "What is it with TPJ? He's a cunt, mate. That's what it is. He's a fucking idiot.
Well,
he's a wasted talent."
You got to think he's a bloke you can pick at front row who's going to probably play 80 minutes on the edge. You just got to understand that 80 minutes he's very much liable for a 6-week or a 10-week suspension because he's got a brain.
We all like a pod. We all like someone. We think, all right, let's pick one or two main differences. This guy's not that. There's a lot of people sort of on him. I don't think he's sort of pod level, but he could be a pod for everyone else because you guys are taking him and he just goes shit and he gets suspended.
Well, I still can't believe it's anti-podding him. You don't go him because everyone's going him.
Yeah, I can't believe he didn't get suspended. Like just a week or something for what he did on the weekend. Like, yeah. But anyway.
Look, I still like him. He's probably never had consistency in his game either, King. He's probably never solidly averaged something with output. He might bump out a 40 and then have a double the next week, or So he's a little bit of a roller coaster as well. But I just like him. If he can get his head right, it'd be awesome. But fucking hell, he just showed on the weekend he's got some work to do in that space, as we've already discussed. Look, I think Crichton at 650k is an interesting one, King. I know a lot of people. I'm a big fan of Gus, but I just think at 650k he has to start the year really well. I know, they start up with the Knights. Who have they got after that? Probably need to have a look. At 650k, I don't know. I think there might be a bit of value for money elsewhere. At that sort of price, he's got to be scoring tries early on in the season to be a good start.
I've had him in a couple of teams. I've gone to IPAP.
Oh, that's worse than that, I reckon. Stick with Gus.
Mate, honestly,
Gus.
Look, I don't know. There's just something there. I watched it in the trial, and I know it's a trial. We talk about it's a trial, but it just looks to me like IPAP's going to start the season quickly, as I think the whole Parramatta sort of team will. And that's why I say, is there too many mouths to feed? But this guy managed to find so much space, so many tackle busts last season. I just see him kicking on again. So I'm fucking pulling the trigger on him. I'm going him.
I definitely think you should start with Gus over IPAP, but I'll let you go. Yeah, look, a lot of people also on Lolo. I'm not sure on Lolo. He's pretty much like a Lukey as well. I'd want to have a look at what the role is, what he's doing, what his minutes are, because it's just there's plenty happening in that Cowboys pack. But
could you put Victor Radley there, mate?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. What's he priced at?
Look, about 440. Look, a couple of years ago, he was a nominee to be added to the list, and he's done well over the years. And I've just sort of softened on him, so he's well and truly off the list. He's at 440k, I think. Again, I think he's got the ability to turn off the tap that him and TPJ have got, right? Like, that sort of stupidity. I think Victor can learn from it. And especially in the sort of Roosters environment. So I reckon he can be effective this year without the risk of fucking suspension and stuff.
Yeah, look, I don't know about his price. That's all. 440. You'd want to have a look. He can play 80 in the middle there. Whether Robbo gives it to him or not, I don't know. But he has to be playing decent minutes, King, to be any sort of relevance. Like 60, sort of 65. He probably bangs out a point per minute in base, probably. But he also is that link for him. He also is that.
Kano just said Victor is not relevant. No, that's not my point, mate. My point isn't that whether he's relevant or not as such, because any Supercoach player that is relevant is either, I guess, someone who's there at the end of the season. I mean, you can argue that it's price related or whatever, but when we're trying to fit whoever we can into our teams, like if you're trying to fit Turbo at the back, I'm looking at someone who's maybe 440k there instead of 600. I'm trying to get for that first 4 or 5 weeks out of him what I need. Yeah. So it's not so much relevant for Supercoach, but for my position and my team.
Yeah, and then that makes it a very different discussion as well. Yeah, like I said, he plays that link role as well, King. Like he'll be that extra first receiver or that acting half for them. You know, when he's playing for the Chooks do better because they all have like that. He's like almost like a halfback, but he's a lock, and then the actual playmakers are a little bit wider out, which then frees up everyone else outside of them. So, look, he's interesting. I'm a big fan. He's one of my favourite players, King, but I'd want to have a look at him again, like everyone else I'm probably unsure about.
Yeah. All right, fair cool. And then what do we got? Whose fucking team is this? Josh Parks. I don't mind this. I'm not 100% sold on Stags and Coates. Stags actually made his way out of my team now. Again, I'm not too sure. I love Munster in there. I really do. Anyone I think at the moment who's got the balls to take Munster or Cody Walker, anyone who can find that fucking 650 or 750k, I think you're going to get rewarded huge. I reckon these two blokes have, look at them in the trials. These guys have turned up to play right from the start of the season.
It'll be interesting. Munster's a very interesting one. See how he goes. Plenty of balls, like you said, at that sort of price. Coates as well. It's going to be one of these things, King. The people that start with these guys are either going to, like you said, get rewarded big time because it'll pay off at the start, or they won't, and they'll play and catch up. Like Coates at 350, it's that risk versus reward.
Who have Melbourne got on the wings?
Well, you'd have to assume Coates is one of them.
Because obviously they've lost that O'Carr.
So Coates would probably be one of them, and then you've also got Nick Meaney that's joined the club. You've got Dean Eremaya.
That's why I ask. Nick Meaney. Obviously, if Pappy's out, he's going to play fullback. George Jennings is out there as well.
Yep.
I like Meaney. I think I loved what I saw from Meaney at the Dogs. I thought over the past 2 or 3 years that Nick Meaney has been one of the Dogs' best players, right? Like in a side that just struggled everywhere, he seemed to be week in, most weeks for them, the shining light for me. And I thought Melbourne definitely saw something similar, which is why they've signed him. I think this guy in this system can become a really, really, really good player. I think the problem is he's better a fullback than a winger. Like he's more of a lanky fucking striding winger that we don't really see anymore, rather than his stocky, bulgy over wingers. And similar kind of thing to Coates. But I just think this guy's got so much more ability.
Yeah, the other thing is Coates is a right side winger. He played on the right side for Brisbane. If he plays on the right side for the Storm, that means Josh Addo-Carr's wing will be the left, which, Meaney, I think, I tend to think that Melbourne favour the left. There's no statistical basis to back that up, but I just feel like they favour that left, so Meaney could end up being the one that everyone misses because everyone's high on Coates. So, yeah, look, I guess apart from Munster and maybe Kiri, seeing the rest of the guys like your Stags, Coates, Teddy, Pap, Matt, Penasini, Swaley in a lot of teams. So, can't really blame anyone on those. I think that couple of those cheapies might not get a run. We're unsure about. Cooler probably won't as well. But again, we're just going to wait till the team next Tuesday. I think it's fine till then.
And what do we got next, Bugs? Oh, this is our boy, Dill. I've tried to... he has had his team already pimped a couple of times at work. So, he started off absolutely terrible.
And this is what he's finished up with?
I gave him a tweak. I didn't say I fucking made the team for him.
Dill, first thing you need to do, mate, is open that up, go in and fucking trade Connor Watson out right now and find something else. That's all I'm going to say to start.
Yeah. So yeah, get Connor out of there. Maybe put in. Fuck, he's plenty of blokes in that second row at sort of 500 odd. What do you think of a Twal, mate? An Alex Twal? Is he just not as exciting enough for a football player?
He's like the super. He would have been. He's born in the wrong era, King. If it was the back,
he's Supercoach 8 years ago.
That's right. He's a LaFranchi. He's a Parker. He's a these guys are just full meat and potatoes. That would have he would have been elite. Unfortunately, he's born.
How sad is that, mate? Like those blokes, they've lost their fucking relevancy in Supercoach. Yeah. Now they're just everyone else.
So look, I'm a big fan of Twal. He does the hard stuff, and he's probably a front rower in a lot of ways. But yeah, look, he'll plug a hole, and I love him in draft as well. I think he's an awesome draft guy. But classic, it's a bit hard. He doesn't have that ceiling. He doesn't have any attacking stats. I don't know if he's even scored a try in his career yet. Yeah, look, Paulo and Kickout, be prepared to ride the roller coaster. These boys are, big and devastating when they're in form, but they also tend to go missing and also can be quiet at times. So you'll have to take the good with the bad. They're not overpriced, I don't think, but they're interestingly priced. They're definitely not cheap. So it is a bit of a risk at that 500K mark, but I couldn't say don't start with them because they could perform well to start the season. They could be good pods, but I definitely would try and see off Watson and maybe even Moses Leota at 400K is a bit of a stretch just because, you'd have to see a pretty big elevation in minutes to be relevant, and at 400K is probably not amazing value in my opinion, but if you like someone, whatever, but that would be the couple I'd start off with in the pack.
It just looks like Moses. He's just out of place there. Like, you either have him as one of your starting. That, if you put a fucking Andrew Fafita in there after the weekend's performance, give Fafita a run. Yeah, and all of a sudden you've got the exact same player, 200K to spend elsewhere.
Yeah, so look, there's people suggesting guys like Arrow and Luciano Leilua, which is fine. Again, if you like watching someone and you like how they play or whatever, and you want to start on, that's fine. But and these guys could do something to start the year, but there's definitely some other options around. At least for Leota, you could look at an Arrow and Watson, try and just find something else anyway.
How fucking good are these?
LCMs, they good? Fucking.
Man, this has been around since we were kids.
Sorry, kids. No fucking LCMs in lunchbox tomorrow.
No.
Dad's been fucking having a late night snack, but. They can't.
Well, I can taste anything. I can actually taste this. This is all right. I had dinner tonight, some fucking spicy Korean thing. I couldn't taste the fucking thing.
All right, show us the bottom half of this one, Bugs. Right. Nice King. Look, yeah, so very different in the outside backs. I don't think, is Opacek even going to get a start, Benny? Dunster's gone. No. What the fuck have you been telling this bloke? Dunster got injured 2 weeks ago for the season. King, have you been this poor bloke? What have you been telling him? Have you got him in one of your cash comps, the poor mate?
Mate, I can't let the cunts beat me. I said I could fucking help him. Mate.
Oh, shit.
All
right. I don't think...
You have to trust in people as an expert.
Dunster, definitely don't start with him. And the fullbacks are arguably your most important position. So I think Savage looks good, and at some point he probably gets the duality added to centre wing after round 6, maybe, depending on how much time he gets for the camera. But try and find another gun fullback. I don't mind Naden as a bit of a pot at 340K. I don't know if Opacek will get a start either at 400K. So
Still just commented. Opacek gone, Dunster gone, Swaley gone, Kotrick gone.
All right.
Who's your mate?
All right, that's a good start.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, I mean, stitches there, King.
All right. Carry on, mate. Is that it? Let's get on to the fucking awards. Yeah, Bugs, talk to me about the awards, the Liam Knight Awards. How have we set it up? Have we left the award winner till last?
I've set it out to the 13, from 1 to 13 that you sent me.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you will announce who the overall winner is. So try not to spoil.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, right. Yeah, that fucking makes it easy. Here, talk about these guys, but don't tell us how you really feel.
No, well, don't say who well. These are all it's a very close competition. These are all worthy winners.
Cunt 1, cunt 2, cunt 3, cunt 4, cunt 5, cunt 6, cunt 7, and one of them cunt X's.
Yes.
Is
the overall winner.
Square.
Yes. So just let me bring up the splash screen first. Or my mouse wants to work.
Oh, I don't like my first one. I just remember who I picked at fullback. I changed my mind after the weekend. We're off to a cracker, ladies and gentlemen. Da-da-da. Have we got any sound effects, mate?
I'll edit some in. What's the edited version?
What am I supposed to be seeing on my screen now?
So you're supposed to be seeing the 2022 Liam Knight Awards.
Oh, and ladies and gentlemen, I saw this screen, 6 hours ago. I didn't realise that the statue was actually Liam Knight. So fucking well done to Bogues. That was huge. I love the trophy.
Yeah, shout out, Bogues.
I actually feel like getting this trophy made for like a junior team somewhere. Like just maybe the guys who finished last. Give them all
maybe for the draft or
something. And the Sixers. Like
I did try and find the most Liam Knight looking depressed photo that I could find. So
start a GoFundMe page to get fucking 12 fucking trophies for a little fucking under Sixers team.
All right, you ready to start, King?
Yeah, man. Oh, here we go. Here we go. The Shadow Man. We fucking go with Michael Hutchins instead. Jesus. Boys and girls, I fucking don't like this after the weekend. I was convinced as a Sharkies fan that this was a shit signing. Not a shit signing. I'll fucking use the wrong words there. That it was just an ordinary sign. I thought, we didn't need him in the position that they thought he was there for. I was wrong. This guy looks really, really good in the centre of the park. There's a couple of offloads there to Nakora. The kick in play, I'm impressed with this guy now. So we've fucked this one up already. So there you go. Number 1 has been scratched.
Could I just say, the rock star Nico Hines, he looks good anywhere he goes, mate. That's why he's a rock star.
How you didn't end up with a picture of Heath Ledger out of 2 hands is beyond me.
He looks more like Michael Hutchins, for sure.
2 hands, Heath Ledger, look it up. It's Nico Hines in the movie, I'm sure of it.
Anyway, so Nico Hines.
The hair definitely is. But anyway.
Nico Hines scratched.
Right. We're gonna scratch him. We're gonna scratch him.
Fucking hell.
I actually like the cut now. So there you go. Go to number 2, mate.
Ladies and gentlemen, just before we move on, there's some insight into the roller coaster that is, you're on a nice edge in between whether you're a Liam Knight Award participant or you're in his Supercoach team. It just goes to show it's a slippery slope.
But, mate, one thing you'll never be able to say to me is I sit on the fence, all right? No one will ever be able to say to Joshua King that he sits on the fence. He makes a fucking decision whether it's right or wrong.
Look, I'll give you that. You're black and white. You know where you sit.
Xavier Coates. Yeah. Not convinced that this guy is the right winger for the Storm. I reckon he's the one who gets replaced by Meaney once Pappy's back rather than George Jennings losing his spot. So
that's a big one. He's a popular player, and I see why people are drawn to him. King. He's in that Melbourne side now, and everyone just imagines him scoring tries for Brisbane. So he's surely going to score more for Melbourne. I think the issue for Coates is whether he has the base in him. I don't mind him, King, too much, but
I just think that what they get out of Meaney being there is just more season than what this guy offers. I just see a lot of Edric in this guy. I see a lot of fucking... And that's been harsh to Edric, to be fair.
If this bloke finds some sort of, cunt about him or whatever you want to call it and takes the ball up 50 to 20 times a game, if we start seeing that happen, he's going to be...
He doesn't really have that anger, does he?
I don't know. We'll see what Bellamy is capable of, but this bloke could be serious stuff very quickly. If
I tell you what, Kano's just made a really good point there. Really good point. He never owned the Fox, and this guy is not him. That's pretty that's a good call. Because at the end of the day, we know this guy is sitting on that same wing that the Fox occupied for a while, and the Fox was never someone we rushed to have into our team, even at 350, 400k. Yes, he'd peak a while, but I like it, Kano.
It's a good comparison. I like the comparison, but there was some fucking idiots that owned Addo Carr at times when he scored 4 and 5 tries and scored 180 points. So I was never one of them. No one that likes to take risks was, but I don't know. I think this guy's bigger than the Fox, and I think Bellamy might get his ear and we see a bit of work out of him. But big if.
Yeah. All right, who we got next? Fuck. We've got another scratching, mate. Fuck! What the fuck's going on? Why do we do these things so far out from fucking season starting? All right, I watched this guy on the trial on the weekend. And for the first 10 minutes, I thought, I'm spot on here. This guy's fucking nowhere. And for the next 70, I thought, fuck, I can't be so wrong. Just a fucking mongrel Englishman. I love it. I really do. Like, he's all these other blokes who've come across have been pretty boys. This guy here has got a bit of mongrel cunt about him. I like it. So yeah, we've got another scratching. Yes, here we go. We've got a legitimate team player. He had a fucking blinder on the weekend, but I'm still not convinced. Valentine's Holmes' best position is at centre wing. He definitely is for Supercoach, but for his actual team, we love it that he's got dual position in Supercoach, but I don't think that he's going to have as good a year this year as probably his average suggests and what his sort of position suggests at the Cowboys.
Yeah, he could. There's not many specialist centers in the game anymore, King. So yeah, I don't know. Center's a funny position. I don't see him being. I just don't see it with Valleys. I would love to have seen him play fullback, but I don't.
Legitimately, there's not too many blokes who are in the centres who are in high scorers in Supercoach, are there?
No, not genuinely. I think probably Lomax.
Look at centre wingers. It's all the wingers. Yeah. Yeah. But, and that's the problem. You don't get the kick returns, and even when you actually get a hit up, you're more than likely passing your winger anyway. Like it just seems to be such a dead position for Supercoach that I think you've got to pick someone who's on that wing, or fuck it, fullback. Like they're a centre winger, but they're playing fullback or something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So, all right, who's next? This cunt. Yes. I fucking hate this bloke. This bloke, he is fucking on the list. A lot of people always talk about this lad and how he's got so much potential and so much. And I fucking love watching him. I love watching him play for the Warriors. I love watching him play for the Dogs. I love watching him play for New Zealand. Like this guy is the New Zealand Gagai. But in the exact same way that Gagai isn't Supercoach relevant, this guy isn't as well. Will they be 450, 500k player? Yes. But they've not got the right kind of game to just miraculously go to 750 or 800 like in the season like your Garricks or fucking top loaders or whatever. So they're solid enough guys, but again, I want my 500 to be able to turn into 650 or 700 at least sometime in the season. These guys don't go high enough to make that happen.
I'll tell you one thing. If I had to pick someone outside back for a run it straight challenge, he'd be top of the list, and that'd be about it.
Oh, mate. He does, yeah. He does.
Tell me,
you remember
who the fuck?
Days?
And I'm echoing the sentiments.
Bring it back.
Wait, I'm echoing the sentiments of the chat here, King. Who the fuck has DWZ. I don't think I've seen him in one side this season, let alone fucking...
Cunt. What did we say earlier? This is one man's awards.
He might be 0% ownership. I'm going to have a look. He could be a 0% ownership.
He's at least got to be one.
I don't know about that. I'll have a look. You carry on and I'll confirm. He may be 0% owned.
He may well be. Get who we got next? Matty Burton. Oh, yeah, the fucking Panthers. He's at the Dogs now. Look, again, there's a lot of talk around this guy. Scored a try in the trial against the Sharkies. I watched the replay there last night, but I didn't think overall that effective. I think 520 or 560k, a lot of people talking about. I just think he might need a season there, and I don't think the Bulldogs are going to be the team that a lot of people thought they were. They've recruited a few players, your Vaughns, your TPJs. I think Vaughan's going to be great. I think the rest of the team's still going to be shit. Dufty, not sold. I think this guy's completely overrated in his position. So, yeah. Number 7.
King, I will say Burton was kicking goals, I believe, over the weekend, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But,
who used to kick?
Huh?
Who used to kick there?
I think Meaney kicked for a bit, and Flanagan when he had his one game every 6 weeks or whatever. But
what's this?
Avarillo.
How many?
That's true. Look, Watine, I'll give it to you, King. Watine's at 1%, so you're off the hook. There's a few people.
1%. Fuck. Jesus. Well, this guy won't be much more than this either. I found it really hard to pick someone at halfback. I don't think anyone's been spruiked at halfback or anywhere like that really won't sort of live up to what they can do. You got your main guns. This is probably just the best I could come up with. But, yeah, it was more that I think halves are just going to maintain where they have been. I don't think Cleary's going to go too much backwards. I don't think DCE's going to go too much backwards. I see the potential there in Keary, but I want to see him come back from the injury before I sort of make that call. I couldn't really find anyone else at halfback, so I just chucked this guy in. So, there you go. Again, he's had chats here and there about him in the past couple of seasons. Like people would just think, oh, is he going to break out? Like we all have that sort of feeling about this, about a player. I think just the guys who've had it about him, I've never gone there, and it's been proven right so far. So, yeah. I'll
tell you what, there's going to be some nervous people. Currently, Nico Hines at 685k at 14% ownership, and Jerome Hughes at 640k at 11% ownership. Look, they might not be nervous because they can trade them out before any price changes happen, but there's some pretty high ownership for some pretty expensive halves, so yeah. Interested to see how they go.
Yep, fair call. Who we got next? Yeah, this guy. I've seen him in a few teams now that have popped around Facebook and such. I think it's his price. He's around 280 or 300k. I've said it before. I just don't think the minutes are there at the Warriors for this guy to become relevant. Jermaine Tanua-Brown, who's gone to the Cowboys, I think he had the sort of same position. You got a lot of guys there who are willing to play the position. Foa, AFB is obviously going to demand a lot of minutes. I just don't think this guy's got the minutes on the park to be effective.
And he looks like a Zerka baby.
Looks like a what?
You know that Zerka, that Brazilian disease that causes the kids to be born with deformed heads? He looks like he was born as one of those and puffed his way through the ranks to become a prop forward in rugby league.
Yeah. Oh, the only diseases I know about right now are fucking COVID, but anyway. All right, who we got next? Number 9. Cody. I've sort of gone Warriors there. Same across the board. I think that this guy, whether he's halfback, whether he's hooker, bit of talk around him doing both.
Hey, is this the Warriors 1-17 or what?
Why?
Is this our team list for Tuesday, or?
I tell you one thing, though, I didn't fucking plan it that way. Who's the next cutout? Fuck. Because we got Dallin, look. Hey, SJ wasn't on there. Fuck. Me boy SJ. I left him alone. Lindsay Collins.
Warriors in for a big year, someone said in the chat. Sorry, as you were, carry on.
Anyway, fuck
sorry,
this.
as you were. If there's any more fucking Warriors in this list, that's sad.
Oh, fuck. It might be one or two. Mate, Lindsay Collins, he is the vice captain of this side. All right. Again, we've got him in the other bet, mate. A tattoo. Fuck, and we need a GoFundMe page for that one. A tattoo of Liam Knight. What I'll do is I'll get it like here on my arm, and we'll just write Liam Knight in some fucking nice print or something like that. So there you go. But that's if he averages over 58 for the season. He averaged 58 last year from 8 games, maybe 6, maybe 8. So let's just see where that all gets to. Anyway, what do we got next, mate? Yeah. I'm not sold on this guy. Look, what's probably changed here is not my opinion of this guy, but who got injured on the weekend? Olakatu?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, this was done last week before the trials. I'm definitely not sold on this guy, but the fact that he's probably going to slip into that position, I think sort of helps him and makes him a little bit more desirable. But 280k, I think maybe he gets to be a sort of 380, 400k play. Just feels like a slow burn to me. He definitely did off the bench. Like at the bench, I didn't think he'd even sort of get that much. But if he does get that starting spot, he's maybe a slow burn acceptance, but I can't have him.
Yeah, look, I think my only counter to that, King, and we had a bit of chat about it in the Hammy's Cup chat this week, about why he might not be a great option to start the year or why he might be, which is fine. My argument to it is you've got to start with someone, obviously, in a few of these positions, and front row being one that you'll have to find someone cheap or a couple cheap blokes. I just don't know who else around that 280k price has as much potential to make some money. You know, there's some new guys on the scene like JTB, Tanua Brown. The Cowboys, you might get the start there for a bit cheaper. You got Spencer Lemieux, you got Andrew Fafita, but still plenty of question marks. If this bloke's going to lock an edge in for a few weeks, play 60, 70, 80 minutes, or, might make some cash and then get rid of him pretty quickly, but give me something better around that price point would be my answer.
Yeah. Yep. No, fair enough. And who we got at lock? Maddo. This is 12. All right.
Fucking hell. This is a big one. This is a massive one.
This is a big call. I think I'm really nervous about the head knock thing. Like I really am, mate. It's just you look at fucking Will Pucovski in the cricket, mate. Like that's in a fucking non-contact sport, you know. That's a ball fucking fair enough coming up to you 140 k's an hour, but like this guy is going to go into collision after collision, and he's got no self-perseverance either. Like he goes in hard. You know, I will give him that. Like, effort-wise that this guy puts in is huge. But I think the liability there with injury for 570k, I think last year was about 660 to start the season. I remember that. So it's a little bit less this year at 570. But, like, I'm going to Lucy Leilua over this guy at 530. Like, Lucy, durable, attacking stats there, still puts in the effort. I'm going to Lucy over a Madison, you know? So, yeah.
No, I reckon you got that one wrong. I'm a big fan of Matto this year, but if he gets with the fucking HI in the first 3 weeks,
mate, 2 weeks ago you were a big fucking fan of TPJ.
I'm still a big fucking fan of TPJ, and I'll echo it by saying I hope people are off him now because of what happened on the weekend. Stay away from him, please.
Stay away
Get
from
off
him.
him.
Make him
and Matto. If you
know, please. You won't start the season with him, remember? You said that to me last week about Turbo.
And then you messaged me 3 days later saying, I've had a bit of play here. And
Hunt's in my team still. Shut the fuck up. All right? I don't know. Oh, there you go. Spoiler.
Ooh.
I'll fucking give a fair bit of my team. Right now, I've got Turbo and I've got Meanie at fullback. There you go.
Fucking, what did you just say? You got Meanie at fullback.
Yeah, just as my reserve, just because I got spent cash elsewhere. Like, I didn't want to go at Teddy. Pappy's out. Fucking Latrell's out. Fucking... I was just, all right, I'll spend the fucking 300k somewhere else and I'll do that. And yeah.
Fair enough. As you were.
If fucking... Oh, mate, look, and, you know, if I'm wrong, and if everyone's wrong on Turbo, you fucking drop him. I can drop Meanie, and I've still got 1.6 there to afford whoever the other two are going good. Whether it's,
look,
you know, Guthrie, I'm a big fan of Guthrie.
Credit where credit's due. You're putting your neck out there. You're saying who you are and who you aren't. Who's going to go shit? You won't find me doing that. I'll sit on the fence all day and wait and see what happens.
Nah,
good on you. I'll give you that. But Ruben Cotter, come on, tell me, why is this bloke a trap?
Because before the preseason game, I didn't think he had enough working in him. I thought he was very Granville-like. I just think he's a 40 average player.
40? Fuck, that's low.
Yeah, well, yeah.
50 average.
I just...
He doesn't have much dynamic to his game. He's very meat and potatoes. You won't find many line breaks or tries out of him, King.
And look, maybe the fortunate thing is he's on a Cowboys team that's fucking terrible and they're going to be defending most of the game, so you'll be able to make 60 tackles. Maybe that's enough. But I just... Like you say, meat and potatoes, mate. That's probably the perfect way to fucking say it. Because I don't rate the bloke.
Look, this is one of the things. I think at one point I had Randall and Cotter as my hookers, King, but you know, I looked a bit more at those hookers. I just wasn't sure that. You know, I don't think Cotter is one. He's one of those guys where he doesn't have a 90 or 100 in him, in my opinion. Really, you might need to try and stuff like that, obviously, but. He's not the attacking guy, and that's the only concern with these hookers. If you're going to run a Randall and a Cotter or a variation of that, how are you making enough money to get to one of the premiums? So, you know, are you better off just cutting your losses and starting with one of them straight away and be done with it, or do you think you can get there eventually through someone like Cotter and Randall? You probably can, but it's probably going to take you the best part of a third of the season to do it, maybe.
Yeah.
Or six rounds. So that's all.
Fuck, where do we get ownership from?
You need to be in like you're picking your team, not in the players list. So if you're looking at it as if you're trying to pick someone up to put them in your team, it'll show their most up-to-date ownership. If you search just in that players view, that. Okay,
all right. I'm just getting prepared. Obviously, awards coming up. I want to make sure enough people have picked this bloke for me to piss off some cunts. But yeah,
I mean, Cotter's at 10%, so he's still on that pot edge, King. So he's an interesting one. I thought he would have been a bit more owned.
Well, I will say though, I didn't think anyone had made as much mistake this season. Like what the Liam Knight Award has always been about is that one player that just sort of gets blasted over social media. You got to have him, and he ends up at sort of 25 to 30% ownership. You know, like I haven't found one like the last couple of years where I thought that's what the case was. So this one's a little bit less, but anyway, is what it is.
So that's the 13 nominations for the Liam Knight Award, the Liam Knight team.
Lindsay Collins is the vice captain.
So,
runner-up. First loser.
Are we drum roll yet?
Who is your overall winner of the Liam Knight Award?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Are you going to... Huh?
You don't know. You're not going to do any lead up whatsoever. You just want me to put the graphic up.
Oh right, hang on. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
The 2022 Liam Knight Award winner is
Matty Burton. There it is. 11.2% ownership, guys. Position only at 5'8". He has gone to the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. In a trial over the weekend against Cronulla, looked okay. He scored a try and kicked a goal, but I'm just not sold on this guy. $576,000. There is way too many people that have spent, 11% have spent that to put him in there. I just think this guy is not going to be as effective at the Bulldogs as people think, because I think the Bulldogs won't be as good as people think. Case in point, TPJ there on the weekend, just shit like that. The fact that they've got Jack Hetherington out there, again, a loose cannon. They just got, too much going on there at the Bulldogs. I think that the culture hasn't quite changed yet, and I don't think that this guy will fulfill the potential, or the expected potential, that a lot of people have got from them selecting him. So, this year's winner, Liam Neidl. It feels weird not to give it to a fucking dumb prop. It feels weird. Like I tried to branch out a little bit this year. Should have fucking given it Lindsay Collins just because he's a big beef-head prop like the other fuckers that have won the award. But anyway,
Paddy Burton is making history as the first back to win the Liam Knight Award.
Purely on the back of this, I'll be putting some money on Burton for the Dally M.
Oh, I'll take you back there.
What odds you give me?
I'll even give you 5-1 better than the fucking Dally M people give you.
I'll get back to you on that one.
If he's 50s, I'll give you 55. You can have 50 on it. 2,500 for the win.
All right, I'll get back to you.
See? There we go. I'll sit on the fence some more. I'll sit on the fence.
My only issue is you owe me $2,500 and you'll have to go and get a Liam Knight tattoo. That's what's going through my head. I'm not a monster. So
maybe you can shout me the tattoo then if we got $2,500 in your fucking pocket.
Maybe King should.
Mate, I got a farm.
If King loses the bet, he should get Matt Burton holding up the Liam Knight trophy.
No, we should get Lindsay Collins and Liam Burton holding Liam Knight like they're carrying him off the field for his last game in a grand final victory or something.
Well, these are some good ideas. Oh, yeah, if we've got some artists in the chat.
You got some room on your back, King? You got some room for a back canvas or what?
Has anyone actually got the Winfield Cup fucking tattooed on their body before?
I'm sure they have. I have no doubt.
Look, everyone's got the old fucking premiership tattoo or whatever it is. Mate, this is just that little bit more creative. I like it.
Look,
Queenslander, did DPGA get a suspension or a fine? No. Fucking hell.
Look, King, it's been a big night, mate, and I must admit I was a little surprised to see Matty Burton with the crown in 2022. But as where the namesake of this award originates from, every now and then you get it right, and you got it right with 90. So remains to be seen whether you get it right with Burton. I do think Blind squirrel can find a nut every once in a while, mate. So there you go. From a Supercoach perspective, this year he might not be that great, but I think long term he could be a very, very, very good footballer, and I think he'd probably be a halves, player in.
I call a spade. I call it cunt.
New South Wales.
But I've picked some good players amongst that as well. Nofo when he went big that year, remember that? Mm-hmm. Ewan Aiken about 3 or 4 years ago when he was playing for Saints, he had a good 70 average for the year. No, he didn't average 70. He averaged high 50s, but he scored a fucking couple of good games. I've picked ones that have gone on good runs as well, mate. I've picked some good pods too, so I can see how shit a player is like this fucker.
We've been running for 5 years now. You're bound to get 1 or 2 fucking right eventually.
Exactly. There you go. Welcome to the expert channel. All right. What else we got, mate? Do you want to go over the draft and order and how that came about tonight?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if Bogan's even aware. He'll be happy about this. Good to know.
Mate, he wouldn't have a fucking clue because some bloke just picked race fucking 3 at Bendigo. It was a fucking maiden to say, all right, whatever the fucking finishing order is here, this is going to be who we're on. Fucking maiden at Bendigo.
The convoluted fucking nature that Brent Hampton goes to pick this draft order every year is getting worse and worse.
Bogan.
Well, look, he didn't go away from a race meeting. He still went a horse race, but you've gone from basically the biggest 2-year-old race in Australia to a fucking Bendigo maiden.
And whatever horse you got was chosen by randomizer as well. I was just like, why not just do the randomizer for the order from the start?
And I said, well, that's not very fun or exciting, is it? And
it's not very fun or exciting if we don't see the race either.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about today's race. I've never jumped and cheered a horse home more in my life than I did this thing coming down the straight at Bendigo this afternoon. And Bogan, you'll be pleased to hear that I have taken it out, the horse race for 2022.
Bullshit! This is fucking rigged. Bullshit.
I wouldn't fucking believe it, mate.
Bullshit.
Wouldn't believe it.
You
A photo
set up
finish.
this convoluted system to fucking
The lengths this bloke goes to corrupt randomizers, to fucking put on the fucking website on the TAB, this race is on yet it ran 20 minutes ago and you got the result ahead of time. Mate, this bloke has got the sports almanac out of Back to the Future, mate. He has got the results in his fucking pocket. Yeah, I'll pick this number. Oh, what do you know? That horse won. Fucking hell.
Anyway, we do have the draft happening this Sunday.
I said to you in the chat, you've even had a couple of hours look it up. Do you remember what the name was of the horse that you picked last year?
No.
Fucking hell. See, that's the thing, right? That's the thing. There you go. Artorias, mate. Artorias.
Okay, well, I wouldn't know. Anyway, it was all fully random and transparent, King. You were fucking there while I was randomizing the list. You cannot question the integrity of how that was determined. And I know you can't, so shut your fucking mouths, both ears. And as a result...
You can very much question the integrity of that.
You can question it, but I'm going to shut it down because there is no questions to be asked around the integrity.
Oh, fucking here we go, Brent.
And Bogan.
Brent Putin.
The election
was fair.
Okay, well, not that extent, but
have we seen the comments, boys, in the chat? Have we seen?
They should. I'll look now, but I hope they're disgusted. They should be disgusted and calling for an inquiry.
I love this. Just unsubscribe. That Joshua King is the Liam Knight of YouTube when it comes to Supercoach, and that message, Benny, put that message back.
Yeah, don't put it back.
Yeah, put it back.
Put it back. Benny.
Spam only, Benny. That's the rule.
You get the wrench just because you get a wrench. You don't get to use the fucking thing.
You've used it a couple of times for bots that have popped up in the chat.
You know what?
Well, that's not.
But
I'll give Jeffrey points for creativity on the way he's unsubscribed. You, the Liam Knight of YouTube. I'll pay that.
That's good. Yeah, I'm appreciative of that, mate. Like, honestly, do you know what? Is that Liam Knight is all about potential unfulfilled. And I've said this, that you can get off the Liam Knight Award. You know, you can get off the list. Like, this bloke could turn in. That's the potential. We talk about not bullying. We're not bullying, you know, because Mark Nichols was on the list and now he's off the list.
Well, I mean,
he was there.
You know, I don't think he'd use the name.
Work ethic, so if that's all I need is to put in a bit more work ethic and to get better, to get off your shit list, Jeffrey, thanks, buddy.
King, everyone's got their haters. Look at Putin, mate.
All right, Jeffrey, if you were just having a fucking joke then, Jeffrey, I have made you, I've brought you back in.
So it turns out he's making a joke.
But no, if that's the case, but if he's left, so he doesn't need to fucking be in there anyway. But no, we'll take fucking those hits.
Oh, and Klim's followed it up as well, King. Klim's followed Jeff.
That was the chat. That was the message.
No, I think Klim's followed suit. Thought it's a good idea.
Oh yeah, may as well. We can start something here, boys. We do this anyway, whether there's 2 viewers or 50.
But if you were the Liam Knight of YouTube, King, that would mean that everyone would be on the channel. Like, we'd be getting
that's enough airtime. That's enough airtime for Jeffy, mate. So yeah, look, if you don't like it, carry on. If you do, fucking get around it.
Yeah. All good. Oh, that's about it. The show.
Hang on, I was fucking talking through my draft order. You've fucking absolutely...
We got 2 draft shows coming up.
Executed me. You've executed me over the draft order. I haven't even announced the fucking thing. So I'll be 1, right. Benny pick 2, Bogan pick 3. Defending champion, reigning defending, undisputed champion, Wayno in pick 4. The Shockmaster is in at pick 5. Shocky, if you're listening, mate, I cannot find you on Facebook. Reach out to me. You're unfindable for some reason. I can't find your profile. Reach out to King or myself on Facebook because I can't find you. The King will be pick, 6. Big Ted pick 7. Kandos pick 8. Climmy and Shano, the debutants, in pick 9 and 10. So Draft this Sunday night, gentlemen, kicking off about 8:30 p.m. I think Bogan and we'll provide a Skype chat to any of those guys that want to jump in. We'll run it live.
Unclear at the moment whether it be Skype or Discord or fucking Zoom or fucking whatever.
Anyway, that is enough on that.
Skype.
Those boys are aware of what's going on. Bogan, your pick 3, and I'll let you talk more about what's happening on Friday night. What sounds good?
I was just saying that I saw in the chat, Kano was saying that they're looking at doing a Zoom. So whether we can adjust our stuff to include that or I just go and do our own thing, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll sort something out. So keep an eye out for those. If you're a hermit that isn't going out on Friday night, there may be a stream to watch then, and there'll definitely be one on Sunday.
Yep. And then we will do Tuesday. Are we doing a show, Hampton? Or are we making it Wednesday?
Oh, Jeff. So, chat, what do you think? So, usually we do the Team List Tuesday show on the Tuesday when we get the team list. But this year for the first round, I was thinking that we do the show on a Wednesday, and that'll give the guys time to pick the cheapies to fill out the rosters to give recommendations on cheapies.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind that because I got a couple drafts on Tuesday night. So,
Jeff's back. Welcome back, mate.
Welcome back, Jeff. Like, rate, subscribe. Tell your mum.
Wake up, Jeff.
My name's Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
Yeah, we only boot people for spam. Just for all you wrenches out there.
Benny G's obviously a joy to hang out with. Look, Benny was just defending the boys. So, look, I'm not going to criticise anyone. But welcome back, Jeffro. Now that we know you're here for a bit of the bands, welcome back in, mate. Yeah, look, I think a Wednesday show will be good, Bogan. I definitely wouldn't be against it. I've been telling everyone to book stuff on Wednesdays because I got the show on Tuesday. But yeah, I think a Wednesday show will be nice and just gives it.
Exclusive.
Sorry, King.
When's mutually exclusive?
Oh, that's like fucking Thursday night, 2 nights, mate. Don't worry about
that. Fuck. Okay.
So the first team list Tuesday of the year will be on a Wednesday.
Yeah, lock it in.
All right. Got anything else?
Right, yeah.
Bogan, have you got any chance that you might be able to start an additional BJ league? Because I'm now seeing Matty Labita asking for a BJ league. I know Dan missed out. Do you want to create a third one or something?
Yeah, all right. I'll create.
I won't be in it, but I
will create a third one and tweet it out.
Yeah. Give Matty Labita, anyone else that's keen that's in the chat, let Bogan
at BJ on Game Day Show. DM me. DMs are open for the, what are we calling this one? The Bogan Cup.
Michael Bryce, Finch's kids can't find your team to rivalries. What's that mean?
You can set rivalries to different users, and a couple of people have asked about what your team names are.
Oh, and you just have to search them. All right, boys, I'll figure it out. Why don't you guys put your team names in the chat, and I'll find a way to add you in the rivalries.
It's
happy to.
Brent is Vossi Bop. And
yeah, Vossi, like VOSSY, the bloke, not the song by that Pommy bloke. Just for anyone that's into current hip culture and all that sort of stuff like that.
I definitely not.
Dan, message me either on the BJ chat or on my personal Facebook, man, and I'll get you the code from Bogan.
Yeah, we need Dan and Matty Labita in there.
Yeah, I will set I'll set a league up when the show finishes and send the code to Brent and Josh for Facebook. And then once they've confirmed to me that everyone they wanted to invite is in, I will then tweet out the code. Or you can DM me on Twitter at BJ on Game Day Show.
Good work.
Yeah. So back to Brent is Vossi Bop and Josh is Finchie's Kids.
Get on the Finchie's Kids.
Yep. So if anyone asks,
we'll definitely post the photo if we.
If anyone asks, you got the tip on Finchie's Kids from the BJ Show. That's it.
We're done. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that wraps it up for another week. We've had a good night. pimping teams and giving the Liam Knight Award out. We had a couple of scratchings there. Nico Hines was scratched and Oliver Gildart. But we will join you all next week. Actually, no, Friday.
We'll join you all
Sunday.
Friday, Sunday, and then Wednesday for the first episode of Team List Tuesday for the year.
Well, thank you, all you legends that tuned in. The chat's been absolutely lit. Much appreciated.
Like, rate, subscribe, share.
Subscribe that shit, yes.